Good morning from Fairbanks, Alaska, and I'm going to be so real with you guys, this trip is off to a rough start.
If you're new here, hi, we're Jay and Nina. We're an adventure travel couple based out of Jacksonville, Wyoming, taking you to the best destinations at home and around the world.
Let me catch you up to speed. 24 hours ago, we left Park City, Utah. We were on a little ski trip out there. We flew from Salt Lake City to Seattle, and then from Seattle to Fairbanks, Alaska. And best of all, we got to see the Northern Lights from the window of the airplane, which was truly an incredible experience. But then once we got our rental car, we started driving to our accommodations last night, and we make it to our accommodation, but we can't get in. We are completely locked out. We're calling, emailing, doing anything we can to get in contact, and just absolutely nothing. Drive all the way back to the town of Fairbanks, and we are just going budget hotel to budget hotel, trying to find any empty room in town.
Probably a Mary Josephville.
Eventually, after all of that, we did find a hotel room for much more than we would like to pay for it, but that's travel for you. Here we are, 12 hours later, and it feels like we have lived an entire lifetime. But we are starting the day with optimistic attitudes for the next 4 days spent here in Fairbanks, Alaska. Right now, it is negative 13 degrees, so we are bundled up to the max, eating our lunch. Jay chose a bag of ham as his lunch for today, and we are on our way to the Chena Hot Springs. That's gonna be our first activity here. The main reason we are in Fairbanks this February is to try to see the Northern Lights. 2025 is supposedly one of the best years to see the Northern Lights this decade. There's probably 6 main things people do when they come to Fairbanks. First one is, of course, search for the Northern Lights. Then there's ride dog sleds or visit with reindeer. There is snowmobiling. There is visiting the town of the North Pole. There's the hot springs that we're doing today. And then there's adventures in Denali National Park or some surrounding ice caves. We're not gonna get to all of them on this trip. For the next 4 days, the weather actually looks awesome. There's only a few hours of daylight here in Fairbanks in the winter time from around 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.-ish. The forecast says clear skies every night that we're here, which is exactly what you want to see for the Northern Lights. In Fairbanks, it's said that you can see the Northern Lights every 3 out of 4 nights during the Northern Lights season, which is what makes this the Northern Lights capital of North America, and definitely the best place inside the United States to see the Northern Lights. We have a tour booked tonight that's supposed to keep us up all night, driving around, just trying to catch the best views, and we're excited to take you along for the ride.
When we were booking our trip to Alaska, it was a big debate whether to get a rental car or just rely on Ubers, things like that. We decided to go with a rental car. We actually signed up for a mystery car through our rental company. We ended up getting a small car, quickly earned its nickname of Slip. Fortunately, we are used to living in a winter climate and driving in those kinds of conditions. So not too big of a deal for us, but definitely something to consider if you're not used to driving in snowy conditions. Just parked, and we are at the Chena Hot Springs. You might notice I have our little laptops that I'm bringing in with us. We want to be able to enjoy the hot springs for as long as we want and not have all of our technology freeze. We're gonna store it inside where it's warm. Unfortunately, blue skies, which are so pretty, also mean that it is especially cold. I think we're gonna be in the negatives pretty much the entire time that we're here.
I thought living in Jackson, we were like pretty well prepped for this. Oh no, I am frigid, frozen to the core.
We have been here not even like 5 minutes and Nina's hair is already frozen. From all of my other past hot springs experience, wearing sunglasses is a pro move, but I realized that in Alaska, the sun actually doesn't get very high. So we're probably just gonna be in the shade all morning.
It's a little bit of a trek to get here, but a pro is that it's only $20 to get into. When we're comparing that against hot springs in Iceland that are more like $70 or $80 to enter, I think that's a pretty good deal. Now, as soon as you park and walk in, it does give some serious YMCA vibes. A little smelly in there. If you need quarters for the lockers, it's a little outdated. This is not the luxurious Blue Lagoon experience. So my expectations were pretty low, but then we came out here and I've been really enjoying it since we got out here. It is truly beautiful, surrounded by these hills. The rocks covered in snow like this is something I have never seen anywhere else.
Look at these little guys just like wagging in the wind.
Of course, my little frosty Princess Leia buns. Temperature of the water feels amazing amazing when it's -4 degrees outside right now.
They do have some like hoses spraying cool water to help regulate the temperature of the whole kind of lagoon.
Here's my Leia hair. Let's go to the secret backside, but you gotta not get splashed. All right, we made it.
It's definitely a lot steamier over here.
I'm burning up.
Feel the wall?
Just trying to cool off. Gotta be careful because I have a mic on. It's also a pretty small pool, but it doesn't feel crazy crowded for being a Saturday midday.
Still feels like you can kind of get your own space. One thing super underrated about this place is how they have a sandy, pebbly bottom. I'm not worried about like stepping on sharp rock. It's not like that gross, slippery, grimy feel.
Overall, do you think it's worth it?
I'd come back.
Yeah. Look at your glass. I cannot see a thing. I'm staring into ice cube.
Kind of a vibe. The blind mice.
I'm ass. We are gonna finish enjoying the hot springs and we'll catch up with you at the car. Blue Lagoon and Sky Lagoon in Iceland are Disneyland. Chena Hot Springs is Six Flags. The hot spring pool itself is great. Six Flags rides are great, but the overall vibe and experience is a little more rugged. Chena Hot Springs is definitely more rundown rec center than luxury Disneyland. Now we have an hour-and-a-half drive back to Fairbanks, and rumor has it it's supposed to be an excellent Aurora show tonight, so we're getting a little bit excited. We're also getting excited for Panda Express for dinner. I know that's not very Alaskan of us, but it is Jay's favorite fast food, and we do not have one at home in Jackson.
Don't forget about these little guys.
We got the Nerds Gummy Cluster keeping us company on the drive home. So it is 6:50 p.m. Both Jay and I just took almost a 2-hour nap. We are about to get all of our layers on and go on a Northern Lights tour, but right now all I want to do is stay in front of this heater. The low tonight says around -5, and I'm assuming we could be spending a lot of time outside taking photos and videos, so I think I am layering with just about everything I have in my suitcase. It's so cold out there. We can see faint Northern Lights right now, which I'll take it. The guides also work as photographers, which is honestly just so nice. We don't have to get our hands cold, be setting timers. They have like the setup. I'm just getting warm until the Northern Lights come up brighter, hopefully.
We got Aurora. Woo! Okay, please. Oh, that is beautiful.
That's right.
Feel the pool. Good, guys, come on, take some pictures.
Good morning. It is almost 10:30 a.m. and we are just now waking up the day after our Northern Lights tour. Overall, we were gone from 7:30 p.m. to around 3 a.m. and that's definitely not the latest that these tours can go, since our guide was pretty much willing to stay out till sunrise. My thoughts on the experience: it's super nice to not have to think about anything, not have to think about the photo spot, not have to bring your own camera gear, and just get to be a passenger princess pretty much. But I will say it is a long night and there is a lot of waiting involved. You are just sitting in that car seat for quite some time. So I'm really glad we did it on this trip. I'm really glad we got to see the Northern Lights last night, but I would feel very exhausted if that was our plan each and every night that we're here, specifically to do the driving tour. Some other options that people do for Northern Lights viewing here are there's quite a few mountain lodges that will be open from 10 p.m. to around 2 a.m. and you can actually buy a ticket to pretty much hang out in one of these lodges, and it's just a great viewing spot for the Northern Lights. And when the Northern Lights come out, you can run outside and get your photos and then come get back warm in the lodge. And then the third main option for seeing the Northern Lights, if you're not chasing them in a car or waiting for them up at a lodge, is to stay at one of those glass hotels or igloos. That is actually why we're in Alaska right now. That was our original plan, to spend our 4 days here at one of those glass hotels. So we are pretty bummed, especially after seeing the Northern Lights last night, thinking about how fun it would be to watch them from our bed. We're still holding out hope. Tomorrow night, we'll get to have that experience and see the Northern Lights from our little glass hotel. I will leave links in the description to all three of those options for seeing the Northern Lights in Fairbanks. As far as today goes, we are exhausted, so I think we're gonna lay pretty low today so that we are ready to hunt for the Northern Lights again this evening. Pretty much have not left this couch since we woke up at 10 a.m. Made some lunch, we watched the Super Bowl, we've done a little bit of work today, and we just went out and got some Taco Bell for dinner. And the plan for the night is to throw on a really long movie like Star Wars and sit here and search for the Northern Lights out the windows of our little cottage. We did learn a little bit about tracking Northern Lights and some of the apps to use last night on our our tour, and tonight is expected to be the best Northern Lights show in all of our time here in Alaska. Something I didn't really see people talk about with searching for the Northern Lights is just how tiring it is. Pretty much while you're here, if you're committed, you are up all night long. So it is long nights, and then of course during the daytime you're in a new place and want to be traveling and adventuring, and so it is team no sleep out here. Catch back up with you if we see the Northern Lights tonight.
It is 1 a.m. All of our aurora sighting apps are telling us that the Northern Lights have been going off all night, and we just can't really see them. I'm not sure if it's just because the moon is so bright, or because we need to gain an elevation, or because we're too close to the city and there's too much light pollution here. Maybe they have been crazy and we've just been missing it. Either way, it'll be interesting to wake up in the morning and see what the camera's captured. It's actually kind of been over there a little bit. You can see a little bit of green haze right there. It's hard to know when to go to bed. So I just pulled up the star lapse from last night, and you can see the Northern Lights were popping off, but because it was so bright, because of the full moon last night, you can see, like, it looks like it's daytime, which is why it was so hard for us to see the Northern Lights with our naked eye. Hopefully tonight is a little bit darker and we're gonna be able to see them better.
It is day 3 and our final full day here in Fairbanks. We have packed up all our stuff and we are leaving our little cottage. It has been kind of a journey to make our way to the accommodations we planned for. We're gonna go grab some lunch in town and then make our way over to Wilding Hotels. And we are off from the little cottage. Technically, we could be back tonight if there's still no heating at our other place. That being said, even though this accommodation was not what we had planned when we came to Fairbanks, it is a really sweet cabin run by a really sweet couple. And if you're looking for just an Airbnb in Fairbanks where you want to be adventuring during the day, that has enough room for a whole family, pretty close to the airport, we will leave the link to this down in the description because they have been so sweet and it is a great little spot. Jay is eating day-old Taco Bell for lunch right here. Let's hope we don't get sick from that.
Comment down below if you would eat day-old Taco Bell.
That was refrigerated and microwaved.
I don't know, I feel like that's a pretty hot take.
Well, we got about a 30-minute drive to get to the Glass Lodge property, and let's hope there's running water and not frozen pipes. And if so, we are hopefully in for a very fun night of Northern Lights looking and being cozy in our little lodge. Oh, Forest Hollow Road, how we've missed you. Welcome to our Panorama Glass Lodge in Alaska. Let's go ahead and do a room tour. I will say we are probably the first people to stay in this room, and this hotel is not even open yet, but I imagine next winter it'll be the perfect place to stay. Right now, there's still a few things that are getting done. Welcome to our lodge. We'll start over here in the bed area, and underneath there are these cute little storage spaces for your slippers. And then coming around, we of course have this big bed surrounded by windows, and if you're worried about privacy, you can move down the curtains on any of these windows, which is actually pretty nice. And then I'm pretty sure all of these lodges are north facing. That's because the Northern Lights usually come to the north. And then walking around the bed, you can see our little sauna out there. And one of my favorite touches is these lights, and they're actually on the floor surrounding the bed. So later tonight when it gets dark, we'll be able to turn on the floor lights instead of the ceiling lights, since the ceiling is a window. And then coming through here, we have our little living room area, a little dinner seating area, and then we have the kitchen. We've got some storage, we've got an espresso machine, a mini fridge, and then this is one of the deluxe units. So in all the units, the bed area is all windows, but in this one, we also have this entire wall. So if the Northern Lights are over here tonight or more towards the south, we'll still be able to see them and enjoy them. And then coming through this door, we have the bathroom area. We have a big jacuzzi soaking tub. We also have kind of this open concept shower area, toilet room, and sink. And outside it is very cold, so we're gonna make this part quick. We have a little wraparound deck. I'm sure in the summertime sitting out on that deck is actually very beautiful. And then through here, we have our sauna. Ooh, this is so cute. I haven't been in here yet. This is a wood burning sauna. Wow, this is so cute. I'm seeing this for the first time too. Little benches, little wood background, and then 2 walls of windows. So we might be able to sauna and see the Northern Lights. And that's it for the tour. Let's go back inside and get warm. So this beautiful little glass lodge is actually where we were meant to stay our whole time here in Fairbanks. And the reason we had so many issues leading up to tonight getting to stay here is because the hotel is actually not technically open yet. We are the very first people to get to stay in this room and give you a sneak preview. But it is truly a winter wonderland out there. I was just snapping the photos. I'm just enjoying the heated floor and snacking on some mini wheats. So after getting to enjoy the lodge for a couple hours, we took a lot of photos and videos. Honestly, I thought the main highlight would be staying there at night to see the northern lights, but it is truly a winter wonderland during the day. We're headed to downtown to grab some Thai food. If we see the northern lights tonight, we will have officially seen the northern lights every night here in Fairbanks. It'll be a really fun way to end the trip.
Right now it's about 8 p.m. and we are starting to see the aurora. And this is a pretty special way to watch the northern lights simply because our view isn't obstructed by being in a car or being in a house with small windows. We can see exactly where the northern lights, no matter where they are.
This feels like the perfect way to end our trip because we have our little Laker game going on. We're still watching our show. We're eating our snacks and candy. And anytime the aurora pops on the sky, we immediately see it. And such a luxury to be able to watch them from the comfort of our bed. So it's 8 p.m. like Jay said. We still have 6 hours of peak aurora time. We're gonna probably finish the Laker game and then go to a movie marathon to keep us up till 2 a.m. So probably pulling another late night tonight. Hopefully see some really bold auroras from here, but just nice to know that we're not gonna miss any that come through.
Oh, see if there's lights going. Oh, that's kind of strong over there.
Oh, that's really strong. I'm gonna have to get my phone out.
Oh, that's kind of strong over there too.
Oh my goodness!
We got northern lights going on, y'all.
We got northern lights. Video interruption.
Yeah, we're trying to record.
Pass me my phone. This is why you want to stay at the Glass Lodge. Video over. The end. Look at the northern lights. I'm literally laying on our bed. Jay's walking around outside. And on this end too, the phone just does not do it justice.
If you enjoyed watching this adventure or found it valuable in any way, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons for more travel content just like this. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time for another best day ever.
Rocking your way to Alaska. Beefy 5-layer.
Oh, that is.
Alright, Renee. Also called the makeout sauce. We just named it that. Shoulder scraping in this. I'm just ready to go.
Let me just make sure we're not missing. Is that them above us? Or that's the ice?
Oh, I see him right here.